Causes. The French Revolution began in 1789 with the storming of the Bastille. Over the next 10 years, the government of France would be in turmoil. The king would be executed, and groups of revolutionaries would battle each other for power. But what caused the revolution to occur in the first place? Before the Revolution. To understand what caused the French Revolution, we have to understand what France was like before it all happened. France was a monarchy ruled by the king. The king had total power over the government and the people. The people of France were divided into 3 social classes called estates. The first estate was the clergy, the second estate was the nobles, and the third estate was the commoners. Most of France belonged to the third estate. There was little chance for people to move from one estate to another. Major causes. There wasn't one event or condition that led to the French Revolution, but rather a number of factors came together to cause a perfect storm leading to the revolt of the people against the king. Debt and taxes. In 1789, the French government was in a major financial crisis. The king had borrowed heavily to maintain a lavish lifestyle. Also, the government had borrowed to fight Great Britain in the 7 Years' War and to help the Americans in the Revolutionary War. With such great debt, the king had no other option than to try and raise taxes. The commoners of France, the Third Estate, had to pay the majority of the taxes. The nobles and the clergy were largely exempt from paying taxes. Higher taxes angered the common people, especially since the nobles didn't have to pay their share. Famine and bread prices. France was experiencing famine at the time. The common people mostly ate bread to survive. However, the cost of bread skyrocketed, and people were hungry and starving. Changes in culture. For hundreds of years, the people of France had blindly followed their king and accepted their place in life. However, in the 1700s, the culture began to change. The era of enlightenment presented new ideas such as liberty and equality. Also, the American Revolution represented a new type of government where the people ruled rather than a king. Politics. Before the storming of the Bastille, King Louis XVI had been losing power within the French government. He was a weak king and didn't realize how bad the situation was for the commoners in France. The members of the Third Estate formed the National Assembly to force the king to make reforms. Not only was the king in conflict with the commoners, but the king and the nobles could not agree on reforms. Interesting facts about the causes of the French Revolution. The commoners resented a tax on salt called the gabelle. They needed salt to flavor and preserve their food. The political system of France before the French Revolution was called the Ancien Regime. Each year, peasants had to work for a few days for their local landlord for free. This labor tax was called the corvée. They typically worked on improving roads or building bridges. The nobles held all the powerful positions in the government and the church, but didn't have to pay many of the taxes.